feel like a star tonight, standing in the shining lights. I'm glad I've come to your side of town. I can feel that there's some magic all around. There's a lot of pretty faces inside, and fancy folks dressed in style. And here I am.
Hello everybody, my name is Bobby Cash, and many of you would know me as a country music artist. In fact, I'm known to be the first internationally known country music artist from India. I was born in Dehradun, Uttarakhand, and I still live here. I often get asked, Bobby Cash, why do you do country music? What makes country music special, or what attracted you to country music? Well, first of all, let me tell you a bit about country music. People ask me, what is country music? I often say it's the music of pioneers. Country music, as we know it, has its roots in the pioneers of the United States of America. It's connected with cowboys and the early settlers in the West, and all that happened there. You know, that's a long story. But it's music that's so connected to the land, to life, to real people with all their hardships and struggles and the ups and downs of life, pain, heartbreaks, faith, and hometowns, and all those things, and it's very beautiful music because it's sentimental, it's very nostalgic, and it's very melodious, I think, and it's so simple. People say it's 3 chords. It's 3-chord music. And I grew up in a home which loved music, but somehow they always loved country music. And I remember as a little boy growing up, listening to those great country songs which my mother and other people in the family would play on records. And those days you had records, and later on you had tapes. But somehow it was the sound of music I grew up on, and I just loved it. Just drew me. And of course, when I was still a little boy, still at school, one of my mother's sisters went to live in Nashville, Tennessee for a number of years, and most people would know that Nashville, Tennessee is the home of country music. And she would send a lot of country music records and stuff from there. And later on, I had an uncle who lived in Nashville and in the U.S., and he would also send records and tapes. So the music came to me, and country music songs always have a story, and these were stories which were connected with the cowboy way of life. And I've always, I grew up watching cowboy movies and reading Western books, and somehow for me it was the music that was connected to my heroes who were cowboys at that point of time. And then I realized it's the very essence and the spirit of country music. I found it was so close to my life and to my feelings as an Indian. People often say, an Indian guy, how come you do any like American country music? Then I realized that the things that are the very essence of country music are appealed to me as an Indian boy, born in a normal Indian family, because country music was about it's about hometown, it's about your roots.
We're gonna listen to some music down at the rendezvous. There ain't nothing like a honky-tonk band to make you lose the blues. I'm going into town tonight, and baby, so are you.
I have been performing full-time professionally for many, many years. Initially, like when I was very young, I would perform. I was a bit shy, but I used to perform at school, you know. I still remember those wonderful teachers I had who encouraged me to get on stage. And after that, you know, I remember even before I became a full-time professional musician, I started performing for our armed forces. And so most of my performances were sort of for army units, and I found there's a lot of people there who love country music, and so I have very, very fond memories. And I still perform for the army, for our Indian Army, which I think is absolutely wonderful. And then in the middle 90s, I got full-time into music, you know. And I mean, as an artist, I've been very versatile. I remember, in fact, the first CD I did, first album I did, was actually Hindi pop in 1996 for a label called Magnasound. So I dabbled a bit in Hindi pop, but my love was country music. And I based myself in New Delhi, moved from Dehradun because Dehradun hadn't grown so much. There weren't too many opportunities here at that point of time. So, based in Delhi, I started performing there at different places in many of the nightclubs and the 5 stars, and of course a very dear place to me, a place called the Rodeo, which was set up like a Western saloon. And I started performing there and became very popular there. And from there on, people from all over the world would come and hear me, you know. And I had fans of my music from all over the world, and it was, you know, meeting some of my international friends and fans while performing there. I was invited to perform to Australia, to the Tamworth Country Music Festival, where you know, I sort of became a big hit of that huge festival. It's one of the biggest country music festivals in the world, and suddenly I was on national television in Australia, and I became very popular there, and I recorded my first proper country music album in Australia, which was released there, made it to the country music charts. And then I was touring the length and breadth of Australia, going to so many different towns and venues, and this happened in early 2000, you know. So then I got internationally known, and from there on, I've played at so many different places and so many different venues. I mean, right from singing at the Sydney Cricket Ground to beautiful music venues. I've sung at rodeos and you know, bull riding championships, and you know, where the cowboys sort of have their sport of bull riding and horse riding and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I have performed many different places and done a lot of television appearances. There was even a documentary film made about me, which was aired on ABC Television Australia and on Discovery Channel here in India. It's called The Indian Cowboy, 1 in a Billion. It's a story of my musical journey and how I got known internationally and about my roots. This is the place I love, my birthplace. So, in spite of having traveled all over, you know, and of course I have very fond memories of the US, which is the home of country music, and performing in Nashville and being nominated there for a country music award, performing in Texas, and you know, meeting real cowboys and all that kind of stuff. But my heart has always been in Dehradun, Uttarakhand, in my beautiful country, and this is where my home has always been, and this is where I live with my family. I travel out from here, and of course I travel all over India and share country music with people you know, all age groups, and you know, I go to colleges, I play for the armed forces, I play for corporates, I play at concerts, and I enjoy what I do, and I think I'm very, very blessed to do what I'm doing, and I hope that for many, many years beyond this, I'll still be making more and more beautiful country music and sharing it with people of different generations, you know, the young and the old, and of course, always living in my hometown, Dehradun, my home state, and of course in my beautiful country. So that's a bit of my story in a nutshell. Otherwise, I could go into details. There's so many, many things, but I think all I can say to all of you listeners out there, that it's all about dedication and hard work. You know, when I started learning music and my guitar, and I'm a specialist guitar player, you know, I didn't grow up in the internet age, or where you had YouTube and where you could watch, and you know, you could get, there was so much access to information, but I had that hunger. I used to hear great guitar players playing. I used to hear great singers. There was hardly anybody to show me how to do it. I couldn't go to Google and say, hey, I mean, I couldn't even get the words or chords of a song. But I had that hunger, that passion, and I believe that even though I grew up in a little town, I grew up in Clementown, Dehradun, which was very, very little place then. But I knew that, I recognized that I had a gift, that God had given me a gift, and I had to work hard. And I worked hard, and I believed I could do it. I trusted God, and I always sort of drew inspiration from the talent that I had within me, and from the beautiful environment I grew up in, and all the people who would encourage me. And I believed that I could be the best at what I did. And so I encourage you, go for it. If nothing else, enjoy what you do.